Hey guys, Ron Bondo Build Construction here. Today we're pouring some concrete over some concrete. We're doing a little, we're at a campgrounds. We're doing a little office space that actually the water was running into this little building. So they want to raise the floor up like 4 inches. So we actually put some wire mesh down. We're pouring like 4 inches on top of the existing floor. The existing floor is in decent shape. It's just lower than they want. So they're figuring if we pour 4 more inches, it'll raise it up enough that it'll stop the water from going in there. That's what we're doing. That's what we got. There's a little ramp to get in here. So this is a little, like I said, this is a little office space, like a little store type of thing at this marina. And ended up putting like some 5/4 deck board around the outside, treated, and we threw some wire mesh down, put some cable ties on the wire mesh to keep it all together. And we're just going to pour 4 inches of concrete right on top of this. This concrete's in decent shape. If you look at it, I mean, it's got a few cracks in it, but nothing crazy. Nothing's moving around too much, so we're just going to pour 4 inches right on top of there, and they figure that's going to stop the water from running in here, because when it rains, the water actually comes down through here. It's kind of a pitch, and it runs right in the front door, makes a mess. So that's what we're doing today. Stay with us. We're trying to get some video footage of it as we're going. Thanks for watching, guys. Here comes the concrete. We got rural hill today. I haven't used these guys in a long time. Couldn't get concrete from Visali though. It's one of the rural hill. Just keep filming that. Hey guys, Bondo here. As I said, we're at a marina here. We're pouring some concrete in this little, I don't know, I said office space, but actually it's a little store. They took everything out of it, but it's a little store. They sell like, I don't know, they sell sandwiches and chips and soft drinks and waters and stuff. So what was going on here is when it rained real hard, that building is actually a little bit lower than like the road and the ramp going down in there. The water would run down in this building and it would pool up in the back corner of the building. So the customer thought they would raise the floor up like 4 inches would stop, the water from running down in there. And I was going to try to pour this floor level inside of it, but when I set my laser in there, the floor itself was probably 5 inches out of level. So I talked to the homeowners, or the owners of the marina, and told them, I said, you're probably not going to be able to get this thing level because it's so far out of level. It would have been right over that 5/4 deck board on one side, and it would have been like 2 inches thick on the other. So they just said, go ahead and stay at the same height and just get it up 4 inches higher. So that's what we did. And everything I've ever studied, if you pour over 3 inches thick, you don't need to mechanically connect the two floors together. So that's one thing we went by. We went like 4 to 4.5 inches thick. So you don't have to, hook anything together. You don't have to put any, mechanically fasten it, or you don't have to put any bonding agents or anything between the two floors. So, it's just a completely different floor on top of the other floor. And the other floor was in decent shape, so we weren't too worried about it. Had the floor, had a bunch of clay and it was heaving and settling and stuff, we would have probably had to take the floor out. But the building was actually built on top of the floor, so this was the best solution, I guess, for what was going on there. So it was tight quarters in this little thing. I think it was 19'6" by 19'6". So it was just me and my son Jason and a couple other young guys. So that really didn't have a lot of experience, the 3 guys that were with me, but they're learning. So I thought I had another mason with me that day, but turns out I had my days mixed up. So it was just me in there as far as masons and the kids that are learning. But we did all right. We got it in there. I power screeded everything, just a little easier if you don't have anybody that can pull a screed with you. these kids are getting pretty good at puddling, so it worked out pretty good. But it was really tight in there, and it was hot in there. It wasn't that hot of a day, but you get inside that little building, and it heated up real quick. So, but we got it in there pretty good. Just here I am magging off the edges, straight edging. Evan's behind me, puddling along. Like I said, he's getting pretty good at puddling, keeping everything flat there. We had to shoot everything through the window. It was kind of a pain, but it's the only way we could get in there. Give her help. Yep, that's all you can do when you're doing this kind of thing. Give her help, Taco Bell. We're going to put that concrete in this hole today.
Wow.
We're doing. We're going to put that concrete in this hole.
There we go.
That's what we're doing today.
Wait, we're doing a concrete video?
That's good, bud. Let's try that. As you can tell, we like to have fun, especially these new guys, these young kids. I like to have fun with them. Some of them say they don't even realize they're working. We have so much fun, but we definitely work hard. But it's good to have the kids, teach them this trade. Not a lot of kids are doing this kind of work anymore, so if you can get them out there and teach them something, it's a lot of fun. Anyways, guys, if you're new to my channel, like I said, I introduced myself already, but I'm Ron Bond. Everybody calls me Bondo. I have a construction company I call Bondo Built. I do a lot of concrete work in the summer. We do a lot of flat work. We do Nudura foundations, a lot of Stampcrete. If you like that kind of stuff, go ahead and think about hitting the subscribe button so you can check out my videos. I'm approaching 100 videos now. I've been doing this about a year, so we put a lot of videos out, a lot of good stuff. In the wintertime, I do home renovation stuff, a lot of insulation work. I'll buy houses and fix them up, old distressed houses, and fix them up. We pretty much gut them and go right straight through them. So try to give you a lot of tips and tricks, stuff that I've learned over 30 years of doing this kind of stuff. So, and if you're getting some value out of this video, do me a favor and smash that like button, because that'll actually help me out. YouTube's got something called algorithm. I'm new to YouTube. Like I said, I've been doing it about a year, but the algorithm is the interaction you have with your audience, basically. So, if you guys are getting something out of this and you hit the like button, that's going to help me. YouTube's going to rank my videos higher. They're going to start putting them out as suggested videos, and I'll get a lot more exposure. Same thing with comments. If you got any comments, or good or bad, throw them out there. I try to answer any questions that anybody has. I try to get right back to you. Yeah, something like that would help me out. Thanks, guys. And if there's something you guys want to see, also a video you want to see, let me know. I'll put something together. I mean, we do a lot of different stuff, so if it's something that I'm going to be doing coming up, I'll definitely video it for you guys and try to give you my insight on how to do it. Definitely try to help you out with that. I like YouTube. I don't do much without YouTube in it. It's a great tool. So if I can give back to YouTube, I'm going to do it, because there's stuff I don't know about, and I'm definitely going to research it with YouTube before I try anything. So a little bit giving back to the platform per se. So here I'm just straight edging my way out the door, guys. We pulled the chute out of the window, and we're just finishing up here. Obviously, I pulled the power screed out of there. Not really no use of using that for this little bit to finish up. So I'm just sweeping it back and forth, filling any rock holes or anything that I see, and working my way out the door. That's pretty much how you get out of any little space. When you're getting out of a basement or something, you got to work your way out. I didn't have my small screed, so I just used this 8-footer. Then I just magged my way out the door. And see the guy, he's shoveling a little material in there. My footprints were just filling in my footprints right there. And probably Evan there with the shovel. We usually set a little pile of concrete off to the side before the driver cleans up. you always want to do that. You know, set a little pile of concrete, like in a wheelbarrow or on the ground or something. When you're pouring concrete and the driver wants to leave, they don't like to sit there and wait for you. They want to get off. They want to go home, and you want to, or not go home, but they want to go back to the plant, and you want to get them out of there. The dispatch guys will, you know, like to get their trucks back and get them moving on to the next job. So if you always need a little bit of concrete, like when you're doing the edges and stuff. It's good to just put a pile there. So here I'm reaching in with the bow float and just floating everything off what I can reach. If you've seen in the earlier part of the video, I was bow floating as I went. You want to bow float everything you can reach before you move on, because once you get past it and you can't reach it, especially in a tight space like this, you kind of pay attention to where you're going and get your bow floating done as you work your way out. So I didn't video it, guys, but I bought a pair of those knee sliders, and I did not have much luck with those things. I've never used them before, and I seen a bunch of guys like them. I actually got a couple guys that work with me once in a while, and they like them, but I guess there's a learning curve to them. I just couldn't get used to them. I rolled around this thing with them on, and I edged it. Like I said, I didn't video it, but I edged it before. Right now it's a lot harder than it was, and I wasn't digging in. I wasn't leaving too much of an impression in it, but they were really sticking to the floor, and I was messing it all up. So I did the whole thing, went around it, and then I just power troweled my tracks out. I know a lot of guys will trowel their tracks out as you're sliding around on your slider boards. You just trowel it out. We always use pieces of styrofoam.
Alright, so I'm Evan here with Bondo Built, and it's time we give the old power trowel. Alright, Evan here with Bondo Built Cement.
Beep.
Alright, I am Evan. We're currently doing the second run of the power trowel on our pour here. It's looking really fine. Take a peek at it.
So guys, I had to mess with Evan a little bit. He was filming me, and he started doing some narration. I guess it's not as easy to talk into the camera as he thought, so he'll get a kick out of that. So anyways, here I am just power troweling along. You seen I edged it on the knee boards. Like I said, I had a hell of a time with that, with the sliders, and then went around it basically with the power trowel once, just to hit the float lines and stuff out of it. And then I let it harden up a little bit, and here I am back on it. Well, right before this, I went around and just standing on it, just bending over and hitting the edge. You can do that. You don't have to do it off a knee board if you don't want to. You can, I mean, sometimes I'd rather just stand on my feet and bend over and just hit the edges real quick when it starts to harden up. Whenever we do it, the first pass will be on boards. Like I said, I like foam boards. You know, maybe I'll get better with these sliders. Tell me down in the comments, you know, what you guys think of slider knee boards. Do you like them? Do you have your own made up, or do you use foam boards, or what? I mean, you know, maybe I'll get used to these things. They're the stainless steel ones, so I mean, I didn't buy cheap ones. They make plastic ones, and these are these seem like they're pretty good. They're made by Kraft. They look nice and they're, you know, fairly comfortable on my knees, but I just couldn't get used to them. They were sticking, and I don't know what the heck I was doing wrong. But anyways, you know, when you're power troweling like this, I like to do what I call a half lap, which is, you know, you make a pass. You get a pattern. You don't just go all over the place. I usually have a pattern that I do, and I'll lap half over. I'll make one pass, and I'll put my trowel halfway across and hit it again. It takes out the ridges and stuff. And then I'm just going to work my way right out the door here. And now we're going to let it dry up a little more, but that's what I'll do. I'll step out the door and hit my footprints here, and then I'll reach in and shut the machine off. That's how we do it, guys. Working our way out of a little building.
Woo! Hot in there, bud.
Oh yeah, the power trowel always gets to him. She's a warm little area, but she do be looking good right now.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we got this little building done. We left it a little bit whippy. Didn't burn it in too much, make it too slippery for the customers. That's going to be their finished floor. It's just a little store, so we don't want people slipping in there. Come out pretty good. It's kind of a pain to get the concrete in there through the window. Shot it through this window. Nice day to be by the lake though. This is the building. We shot through that window right there. Had both windows open, but man, it was hot in there. That concrete started to react and had to be 95 degrees inside there.